Wherever you are, whatever you do, this is your game. These are your teams. Their dreams are your dreams. It's that big. It's the Coal Bowl. The Cal-IUP rivalry, rich in history, has seen its share of memories.
Great volcano for the Vulcans.
After Cal beat IUP in 1984, the Vulcans saw IUP win 20 straight meetings. Some in dominating fashion,
IUP offense has just been picking apart the Cal defense.
And some by the closest of margins.
Takes a look, he's going down the sideline. He's got Hoskins being pummeled down the sideline, makes the catch, incomplete, and there is no flag.
Then finally 2005 brought the end to the streak.
We have finally, for the first time since 1984, knocked off those IUP Indians.
Little did anyone know that was only the beginning of the Vulcans' domination. California used the 2005 streak buster to reel off 8 straight wins, including their first 4 when the series was dubbed the Coal Bowl in 2009.
Terrence Moore's there. Complete Terrence Moore. Daylight in front of him. 10-5. Touchdown, California.
Cal won in the snow.
Pollock drops back. He's got all kinds of time. He airs this one out to the end zone, and it'll be bouncing. It'll be caught by California.
Wow.
Touchdown. Josh Gumpert pulls it in off the tip.
And also in the most unbelievable fashion. Who could forget 2012? All was lost in the second half as Cal was manhandled by RV Tuck in the second half for IUP to stake a 24-17 lead. Then one missed field goal set forth a cataclysmic event that ended up sending Cal to keep the Coal Pail trophy.
News kick is up.
It's good!
The Vulcans take the lead 26-24 with 3.5 seconds to go.
Then next season, IUP was done seeing Cal beat them. Done hearing Cal is the more premier program. The Crimson Hawks turned a beautiful day in Indiana to a nightmare for the Vulcans by picking off Cody Schroeder 4 times, 3 by Terrell Holloway. IUP finally won a Coal Bowl, but the Coal Pail trophy would not stay long in Crimson Hawk possession after last year's game, where the roles reversed with IUP turning the ball over 5 times, including a game-ending interception.
He's looking to pass, fires into the end zone, that is picked off in the end zone.
This season so far sees Cal and IUP up near the top of the standings. IUP is perfect in conference play with a new quarterback, and Cal needs to recover after being decimated by the Rock a week ago. But one thing is certain, everyone will be watching.
The biggest rivalries, I would say, in Division II.
Everyone cares.
What is our identity?
Everybody's together.
It's Cal U, it's IUP.
Everybody's there.
California fans showed up.
So who wins in this one? Everybody. Coal Bowl 7, IUP, California.
Hello and welcome into Frank Signetti Field here on the campus of Indiana University of Pennsylvania, where today is the 7th annual Coal Bowl between the Crimson Hawks of IUP and the visiting California Vulcans. Hello everybody, I'm Zach Prosba, and today, matchup, who's your rival is the question. Are you for Cal or for IUP, and what has become one of the more historic rivalries, not only in the PSAC, but in all of Division II. As we will take a look back at last week's contest before diving more into tonight's matchup. We see Indiana, after losing their first game of the season in kind of a heartbreaking fashion to Kutztown, they have rolled off a few straight wins, including a 47-10 defeat over Seton Hill, who California defeated the week previous to that, in a come-from-behind victory. IUP showing their dominance, and then California had to travel to Slippery Rock last Saturday, and Slippery Rock in their homecoming game, no mercy there. 56-21 the score. It was 35-7 at halftime, and Slippery Rock continued their dominance all across the PSAC so far this season, as now not only are they playing today, they've played years past, not only in the Coal Bowl, just playing each other IUP leads the all-time series 60-25 and includes 2 ties. And of course, most of you fans at home know IUP won 20 straight contests from 1984 to 2004. Now, California has won 9 of the last 10, though. So it's been a series of streaks, and the last meeting was last season in 2014. California, a 21-13 victory over IUP at Adamson Stadium, where Chaz Veal had a clinching interception with about 30 seconds left in the end zone. Now we'll take a look at the tail of the tape of the team so far this year. Everything really favors IUP except for the passing yards and third down percentage. That's keys for this game because IUP does not pass the ball a lot. They started the season with Chase Hazlitt at quarterback, who is, of course, the son of Jim Hazlitt, one of the IUP's greatest players of all time, and now an NFL coach. He did not play bad. It's just the fact that Lenny Williams, their new starting quarterback, a redshirt freshman transfer from Temple University, has come in and played extremely well and has basically won himself the job. And he's a mobile quarterback, which California has struggled with over the last few weeks. And that's why you see 316 rushing yards per contest for IUP. California, their struggles have come in the passing game, surprisingly, this year. James Harris, 2 games with 3 interceptions or more. I'd like to see that corrected as you see that -1 turnover margin. In California, last week, their problem, that game, 56-21, the score doesn't indicate much besides the fact California could not finish drives. They had 4 turnovers, including 3 interceptions from James Harris. If California can finish drives today, they'd be in much better position. As you see the captains coming out for California, you have Jawan Turner, Jordan Bowman, Gary Brown, and James Harris for the Vulcans going out for the coin toss. You look at the kickoff temperature, it's 39 degrees out. The wind chill definitely less than that. 5 to 8 mile an hour winds. About a 30% chance of rain. It rained earlier in the afternoon. Also a little bit of sleet falling as well. Very cold. The first cold game, you can really say, of the year. Both teams going to have to adjust. As you see the coin toss being performed, you see the IUP captains out there. Number 25, Kevin Clark. Number 93, Karan Gibson. And number 48, Dorian Lane. We see the refs signaling out the procedures of the coin toss. And of course, this is the Cole Bowl, the 7th edition of the Cole Bowl. IUP has won only 1 of these games, and that was back in 2013 when the game was here at IUP. Terrell Holloway had 3 interceptions against then starting quarterback Cody Schroeder for the Vulcans. California, though, has won 5 of the Cole Bowls, including the first 4. As we see now, the teams break, and we'll see who will receive the kick. California will receive the opening kickoff. IUP will be on defense. So California, their offense struggles a little bit earlier in the season. Seemed to get it going against Edinburgh in the second half and Seton Hill, where they came back down 21-3 at halftime. Struggled again at Slippery Rock, though. So we'll have to see early on if they're able to come out here. But of course, IUP, they are sitting pretty right now in the standings. They are tied at the top with Clarion. And we'll check on how Clarion did earlier this evening, as they were tied 10-10 with Seton Hill. And of course, Clarion 6-0. They get California next week, as you see the Crimson Hawks coming out, led by the mascot, the Crimson Hawk, carrying the huge IUP flag. And some new uniforms this year for IUP as well. I'm actually liking those. Same colors, same concept. The helmets are a little bit different, and the numbers are different, the numerical font. And I actually kind of like the sharp edges on that, so it's a little different. And oddly enough, it's a white out here today at IUP, but IUP's not wearing their white uniforms. California's wearing their road whites, which is kind of a surprise that I thought before the game when we got clarification of that. So we'll see. There are a lot of fans here from California, a lot of fans from IUP as well. The parking lot outside the stadium is pretty full, and still people checking in as the game is about to get underway. The IUP band is making their way off the field. The California band is also here. They are in the far visiting section. We'll see. For IUP, coming out to do the kick will be number 29, Ryan Stewart, or number 87, Sean Bowling. There are a couple kickers on this roster, so we will see. And of course, the return men for California will be Chaz Veal and Jimmy Wheeler. Jimmy Wheeler, he's broken off a couple big returns this year. Still, sometimes penalties have drawn him back, and he's not able to break that last tackle towards the end. We'll see if that's able to change as the season goes on. And it will be number 87, Sean Bowling, out to do the kickoff. He is a freshman, 5'11", 165. He's about to do the kick. As California will start with the ball. You see right there, Chaz Veal. I'm sure he's looking for another interception. He has one this year. That was against Bloomsburg right before halftime. The interception really didn't mean anything. As IUP now ready for the kickoff, as we are about to start the 7th edition of the Coal Bowl here on CUTV. 15 minutes on the clock. Bowling running up, kicks it away, and this one's going to go to Wheeler. He fields it in his end zone, and he will bring it out. And not able to find a hole, and he's able to plow forward to about the 23-yard line. That's where California will start. Look at their offense. James Harris, the quarterback, I mentioned his turnover struggles this year. Franklin, the running back, and the dynamic receivers. Brown, Smory, Scott, and the tight end Green. As then you look at the offensive line for California from left to right. Moorhead, Pearson, Nickerster, Seaman, and Jones. They've had some troubles trying to protect James Harris this year, especially up the middle. It seems a lot of the sacks come from there, as California is out for their first series of the game. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Harris fakes the handoff. Harris rolls off, throws to Smory. That's a first down and a little bit more down to the 38-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 15 on the first play of the game. As now we'll look at the IUP defense. Matt Howard, Jamal Everett, Jeff Palmer, Karan Gibson, Dorian Lane, Kevin Clark, and Aquino Robertson round out the front 7. Looking at the secondary, Chris David, Eric Williams, Steve Franco, and Jay Watkins for the Crimson Hawks. 1st and 10, 14:40, just underway here in the first quarter. Harrison shotgun, gets a handoff to Franklin. He's going to gain about 2.5 yards on the play. We'll call it 2, and it'll bring up 2nd and 8. First time Franklin got a run last week against Slippery Rock. He had double-digit runs, but only about 20 yards total carry. He did have a touchdown though to continue his streak. He has scored a touchdown in every game this year, and he is 2nd in the PSAC with 9 rushing touchdowns. Harrison shotgun again. 2nd and 8. Harris getting a play call from the sideline. Now Franklin switched sides on his sidecar protection. That's going to be a handoff to Franklin again, and he will go nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll bring up 3rd and 8. So California faced with their first 3rd down opportunity of the game. And you saw earlier in the open, about 42% on 3rd downs this year. And usually this is where James Harris is able to cock back and throw, but he's had some issues with consistency and accuracy this year. Let's see what he can do on this play. It'll be 3rd and 8, 13:30 to go here in the first quarter. Harris gets the snap. Good protection. Throws it over. That's Kawan Scott. He has a first down, and he gets out of bounds right about the 50-yard line. They're actually marking him at the 49, 1-yard pass where he needed to be. It'll be first down California. Clock stops at 13:16. James Harris completed both of his passes so far for about 25 yards. McCauley enters the game for the first time. Jimmy Wheeler is in the backfield as well for his first possible carry. 3 receivers again, Scott, Smory, and Brown. And this will be a handoff to Wheeler. He breaks out, gets to the outside. He's to the 45, to 40. First down, and he gets out of bounds. They're going to mark it at about an 8-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 2 as Wheeler is able to get to the outside before being pushed out slightly. And that's what makes Jimmy Wheeler so good in this offense, I think. He's able to get to the outside and, if needed, break it back into the middle. Evading tacklers very well so far in his freshman campaign from West Mifflin. Under 13 minutes now to go here in the first quarter. It's going to be 2nd and 2, ball on the 42 of IUP territory. Harris with a sidecar McCauley, and behind him is Wheeler, a sort of modified pistol formation, I guess you could call it. Now Harris can hand out to Wheeler again. He gets back out to the outside. That's a first down, and he will get to 35 and keep going and push from behind. Gets him to the 33, a 9-yard pickup and a new set of downs for the Vulcans. So again, the run game gets it going early on for California before they open up for the pass, and that's something that's really kind of lacked, I think, in the last few years for California, where they have not had a dynamic run game to open up the pass, but now they do, and we'll see if that's part of the game plan today. 1st and 10, and there's going to be a stoppage here. Give me a timeout taken by IUP. 12:11 on the clock. IUP takes their first timeout of the first half. It's California right now driving down the field at will for the most part. Harris has no incompletion so far as he's trying to pick up his completion percentage. And Wheeler, a couple big runs as now we look at the California schedule. Of course, today they are playing IUP on October 17th, and next week on October 24th is homecoming against Clarion. And who could have predicted that at the beginning of the season that could be the most important game for both of those teams, as Clarion picked to finish last in the PSAC West, is currently 6-0, and we'll have to check and see if they were able to make it a straight lucky 7 against Seton Hill. And following that, a trip to Gannon on Halloween, and then Mercyhurst at home before a final trip to Lock Haven, or possibly the PSAC Championship if California is able to have some things shake their way as the season goes on. 1st and 10. Harris rolls out, throws it downfield, and it's complete to Gary Brown. It's a first down. What a play. James Harris was under pressure, but he's able to roll out and find probably the best receiver on the field for either of these teams. Gary Brown, new set of downs, 12:04 to go. And usually Harris, that's a play that's in his repertoire a lot, with Paul Butler and Ryan McCulley kind of coming out of the H-back tight end formations. But this year, Paul Butler's been hurt and McCulley's not been used in the pass game a whole lot. But that time finds Gary Brown downfield in sort of a levels play. And now it's going to be a handout to Wheeler. He gets into the inside. He's got some room, and he's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, California. California strikes on their first drive with 11:41 to go, and it's 6-0 Vulcans. Jimmy Wheeler scores from about 8 yards out or so and gets the Vulcans on the board. As you see that run there, there's defenders everywhere. 2 IUP defenders ran into each other. I mean, it's hard to get this kid to the ground, and he's able to shed blocks wherever he goes. William Brazil will be on for the extra point. There is some wind, and he's had troubles with that this year. Kick is up, and the kick is no good as the wind pushed it to the right. California, though, does get the touchdown, 6-0 with 11:41 left here in the first. When we come back, IUP gets the ball for the first time on CUTV.
Complete news, entertainment, and sports coverage from around the area, region, and nation is found right here on CUTV News Center every Thursday at 5 p.m. with anchors Jennifer Germano, Zach Prosba, entertainment with Mike Mays, and sports with Matt Hagee. Follow us on YouTube, CUTV News Center, and on Twitter, CUTV_PA, for your complete rebroadcast of your Vulcan sports. News Center airs every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Armstrong and Atlantic Broadband.
And welcome back. California puts up a touchdown in their first drive. No extra point, though, after it was pushed right because of the wind. 6-0 Vulcans with 11:41 to go in the first quarter. IUP will get the ball for their first time on offense. And just like last week, I'm expecting a little bit of a shootout here today at Frank Signetti Field. Brazil's kick is away. It's a low line drive. Gonna bounce, and it hits the IUP return man, number 1. We'll see who that is in a second. He's able to break away, but get taken down at the 18. That number 1 is Jordan Brown. As you see now, the starters for California's defense. Tarver replaces Brewster in the starting lineup. Turner, Maihochi, Lardani, Devontae Super, and no Luke Rapchek. He's out with injury today. Looks like we'll probably see Corey Bopp in there to replace him. And in the secondary, Brandon Edwards, Vondell Bell are the corners. Aaron Terry moves over to safety. Chaz Veal and Jordan Bowman join him there in the deep center field. We see Lenny Williams, the transfer from Temple, come out for the first time here on the IUP offense. Oddly enough, his running back, his last name is Temple, as it's a handoff to Chris Temple up the middle. He will get to about the 22, keep going, and actually gets to the 19, as I actually had the down in yards wrong before. It'll be 2nd and 5, as you see the backs and receivers IUP, Lenny Williams, Chris Temple, Swanik Brown, Jordan Brown, Walt Puguez, and CJ Jackson for the receivers on the line. Gabriel Diaz, Ethan Cooper, Kaidas Wooldies. And there's a bubble screen over at the IUP receiver, and there's maybe a gain of a yard on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 4. California's defense able to rally to the play. You see Corey Bopp there, who's replacing Rapchek in the starting lineup. IUP running same kind of no huddle that California is, except this week, California's not seeing 10 to 15 seconds between plays like they did at Slippery Rock. Williams, 3rd and 4. Man in motion is Temple. Looks like he keeping going out on the screen. Williams going to keep it himself. He's up the middle. He's got a first down. There's a flag. We'll see what the flag is going to be and see if this first down will hold. Looks like from my first view, this may be an encroachment, possible illegal formation. We'll see. This would be a first down if it stands, and it looks like it will at the 32 as the ref comes up. It'll be offsides. And that's going against Cameron Tarver as the penalties decline. It'll be 1st and 10, 10:29 to go. Lenny Williams, that's where he can hurt you most, going on his own and running the football. Good pickup there for the redshirt freshman. Williams in shotgun. And Temple trying to get the outside. He won't get anywhere though. Back to the line of scrimmage. And actually, IUP, their offensive tackle, one of the tackles, moved on the play. There was no flag, but California able to rally to the ball and get no gain out of that play as Temple tries to bounce to the outside. Looks like that might have been Jawan Turner who had first hit, maybe even Errol Brewster. Hard to tell from there as there was a bunch of players in that pile. 9:48 to go here in the first quarter. Williams fakes the handoff. He's going on the outside. He's got a lot of room. He's got a first down and gets out of bounds about the 45-yard line. And actually going to mark him short of that at about the 43, but it'll be enough for a first down. So Lenny Williams doing it himself so far. Chris Temple not getting anything, but Lenny Williams has a couple runs and about 20 yards off those runs. He had 205 rushing yards last week against Seton Hill. Rarely see that out of the quarterback position, 200 rushing yards. Man in motion, it's going to be a handoff to Temple. Now he's got some open room in the field. He will be tackled down in California territory by Aaron Terry, down to the 42. That's going to be a pickup of 15 on the play, new set of downs. As it seems right in the middle is where IUP is finding these running lanes so far, and to the outside as well off that play action run from Williams before. Shotgun again for Williams on 1st and 10. Man in motion is Brown. It's going to be a handoff up to the middle of the Temple. Actually, no, Williams has it himself. Gets to the outside, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 34. That'll be a gain of 8, bring up 2nd and 2. As California so far having struggles trying to keep up with the quarterback keeper plays. I was even faked out on that one as I thought Temple had it. Williams so far doing a very good job of concealing that ball and making sure California has to decide who has it before they go after the ball carrier. 2nd and 2. Cadence, Williams hands it off to Temple. He goes up the middle. He maybe gets the first down. We'll see. They will call it a first down as he has just enough at the 32. It'll be 1st and 10 again as IUP has picked up about 4 or 5 first downs on this drive alone. Moving down the field, and like I said, looks like what we've seen so far, it's still early in the game. Could be heading for a shootout today the way these offenses have started. Of course, it was the same story last week at Slippery Rock and Cal, and we all saw how that ended up. Lenny Williams in shotgun. Man in motion is Brown. Williams hands out to the middle of the Temple. Temple breaks 3. He gets to the outside. There's no one there. Temple into the end zone. Touchdown, IUP, as they have tied it at 6, and barring the extra point, we'll see if they can take the lead. IUP, 1 pass on that entire drive, went for no gain. Everything else was on a rush, about 80 rushing yards on that drive alone, 86 to be exact. As you see Temple, great move to get to the outside and no one there. Aaron Terry with a last-ditch effort to maybe jar the ball loose. He's not able to. As we'll see, the extra point is up, and it is good. So IUP on their first drive comes back with a score of their own and takes the lead 7-6. We'll see how California can respond on offense when we come back on CUTV.
Catch all the excitement under the Friday night lights with CUTV's high school football game of the week. You have the best seats in the house as the area's longest running high school football telecast, now in its 29th season, brings you the area's biggest games. Don't forget to watch the replay on CUTV, Sundays at 8 and Thursdays at 5:30.
And welcome back here on CUTV. IUP has taken a 7-6 lead as the kicker Bowling will have to reset the kickoff after the wind blew it down, and it blows it down again. Looks like we may have to have somebody hold the kickoff here. As you see that traditionally sometimes in the NFL. The wind is blowing pretty heavily right now in the stadium. It's blowing from left to right into the stadium. As the kick blew off again, the refs are going to have to stop play here and probably get someone to hold it. As we'll see number 2 for IUP, Jay Watkins, go over to hold the kick. And I mentioned the weather could get a little bad tonight, a possibility of rain. I mentioned it rained earlier. There was some sleet in there as well. Very cold temperatures as well. And confirmed snow as well on our drive up here from California as the kick is away. It's a short one. Wheeler fields it at about the 9-yard line. He's got a hole, and he's going to run into his own guy, but keep chugging along down to the 31, where California will start their next drive. As we'll look at that touchdown again, Chris Temple goes up the middle and then breaks it to the outside, fakes out Aaron Terry, who then has to go chase him down. A great block there from the receiver for IUP against Vondell Bell leads to that score. As California, you see, when they have the ball, they score about 30 points a game, but IUP is one of the best defenses in all the PSAC, only giving up 18 a game and 68 rushing yards a game. But where they struggle is the passing game. So we saw that in the first drive. James Harris, he can take advantage of that today. California's a very high chance of coming out here with a victory. There's a 7:55 to go in the first quarter. Harris fakes the handoff. He's going to go downfield. There's a man there, and it's out of bounds. Gary Brown was in his intended receiver. There was good coverage there by number 2, Jay Watkins, who I just called previously on the hold of the kickoff. And you see the play there. There's good protection. Harris just threw it right into coverage, only where Brown could get it, but it was out of bounds, and Brown really did not have any chance to bring it in. 7:47 to go here in the first quarter, still just about halfway through, 2nd and 10. Harris in the shotgun. Franklin is the sidecar next to him. 4 receivers on this play. Harris fakes the handoff. Harris going to keep it himself, and he's going to go forward, and no gain on the play. It'll bring a 3rd and 10. We've seen a few Harris runs in the last few weeks, and that's not something we've normally seen. Maybe a little bit different fold to the California playbook. One of those deep pages in the book that you may not get to, but they really have not seemed to work so far. As Harris, the blockers just don't get out there, and he's not able to find open room. Now Fiore comes in as the 3rd down back, as he traditionally is. He's a little bit better of a pass catcher. 3rd and 10. Need to get to the 41 to move the chains. Harris back to throw. Downfield, that's Des Green. He's going to stop, try to go forward, and gets taken down at the 38. And it'll bring up 4th and 3, and we'll see California's, let's see, okay, we will see California's, actually no. Okay, apologize. California's punt team now comes out. It looks like Harris was going to stay out there, but he decided at the last second, Coach Keller did, to send out the punt team. Let's see Luke Smorey go back to punt. And you've seen this year, Smorey, Michael Keir, and Ian Patterson all punt for the Vulcans. Smorey and Keir and Patterson all done a pretty decent job, but Smorey's going to keep it himself. He has some room out to the outside. That's a 1st down. Midfield. a little bit more, and I was faked out on that one. Did not expect that in the first play. We saw that last week against Slippery Rock and sometimes against Seton Hill, where it looked like Samori was going to keep it himself. This time he did. A good job by our replay camera, I have to say, by sticking with that one. As Samori gains a first down and a lot more. 1st and 10 in IUP territory at the 46-yard line, 6:15 and running to go in the first quarter. And that's why Luke Samori's been out there most of the time, as he will run up a little bit, and if there's pressure there, he will kick it away. Now Harris hands it off to Wheeler. Up the middle, it gains a little bit of room. Down to the 41, that's a 5-yard pickup. It'll bring up 2nd and 5. So California, again, they were stopped in what looked to be a 3-and-out, but Luke Samori's fake punt kept this drive alive. And the running game doing a decent job so far. Wheeler will stay out there. McCauley is the sidecar to Harris in a pistol formation. 2nd and 5. 5.5 to go here. Now high snap. Wheeler gets the handoff. He has a first down. He has a little bit more as he's down to the 32. It'll be first down for the Vulcans. Is Jimmy Wheeler, majority of the carries so far. I believe Franklin maybe has 1 carry, but Wheeler just seems to be enjoying playing in the PSAC so far as a running back. I've not seen anybody that can legitimately tackle him on their first try. It always takes a couple guys to crowd around him and bring him down. So we have 1st and 10 for the Vulcans at the 32. Harris looking around. Gets a snap. Hand off to Wheeler. He goes back to the outside. It's a little bit misdirection counter play. He goes up, gets upended about the 28. That'll bring a gain of 4 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 6. Jimmy Wheeler, I think that's what's best about him. He has that breakaway speed that even if a guy's right behind him like you saw there, and there, number 25, Kevin Clark had an opportunity to bring him down, but he's able to shake off the block. 4.5 to go here in the first quarter now. 2nd and 6. Harris hands it off to Fiore, and Fiore will have a first down. He's right on the sideline. He's got a little bit more room, and he's taken down inside the 10. We'll see where they mark him at about the 7, it looks like. It'll be 1st and goal, as this run game for California has come out at all levels and done a tremendous job so far. Fiore going around the sideline and some IUP defenders to get that run as he's taken out of bounds at the 7. It'll be 1st and goal. IUP making a couple subs here, late subs at that. 4:10 to go in the first quarter. Harris hands it off to Franklin. Franklin will be stopped at about the 4 or 3 yard line. Gains a few yards, he'll bring up 2nd and goal. Looked like he had a hole there just before the defender was able to get to him. If you look at this replay, had a hole there, just cut to the left, and the defender, number 7 for IUP, Eric Williams, came up at the last second to bring him down. As John Franklin is looking to score yet again. That would put him at double-digit touchdowns rushing this year. Harris, sidecar is Wheeler, so Franklin not in on this series. 3 receivers. Harris fakes it into the middle, and Des Green is not able to come down with it. And we'll see here on this replay, little bit just too high. There's a hold and a push in there, and no calls from the officials, so both teams probably guilty of some penalties on that play, but letting it go was probably the best option for both refs. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 4 yard line. 3:28 left in the first quarter. Fiore is in there as a 3rd down back. He did catch a receiving touchdown against Seton Hill from about 12 yards out. Des Green is split out on a fade. He's going to go to Green in the end zone, and it's almost caught. Looked like there was interference there as well. No call. Des Green almost came down with an Odell Beckham catch. Look at this replay again, as Des Green is being held and kind of arm barred there a little bit, as California will come out with a field goal unit. And again, the wind is blowing heavily, and William Brazil so far this year has struggled kicking in the wind. Let's see. This is the exact same script from last week. California came out scoring their first drive. Let's see. They tried a field goal, they missed it. Brazil's kick is up, and this one is good. So Brazil kicks it right through the uprights and makes it 9-7 California with 3:21 to go here in the first quarter. California not able to finish with a touchdown, but they get the 3 points to get back the lead. When we come back, IUP's offense. Let's see if California can respond on defense this time when we come back on CUTV.
The Multimedia Access Center is an open lab where California University students can work on an assignment, attend a workshop, print a document for class, or take advantage of a variety of services such as large format printing, web development, and graphic design. Located in the renovated Natali Student Center across from the student bookstore, the Mac Lab is also your home for OrgSync support and services. For hours of operation or for more information, stop by the Mac Lab, visit our website, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter.
And welcome back to CUTV. California with a 9-7 lead. It looks like we're covering a California IUP basketball game instead, the way these numbers are playing out so far. As the kick is away from Brazil, it's a low one, fielded by the IUP returner at about the 27-yard line as it goes out of bounds. As you see, when IUP has a ball, 39 points per game. That's one of the best in the PSAC, and 316 rushing yards. We saw 86 on that first drive alone. They don't throw the ball a lot, so if California's able to keep on the run and start maybe limiting the amount of games they have, maybe IUP will be forced to throw, and we'll see how this game plays out then. California with a 9-7 lead, 3:21 to go in the first quarter. Williams gets the snap and hands off to Temple, and he goes nowhere. Maybe a gain of a yard on the play. They'll bring up 2nd and 9. Good stuff there. Looks like that was Super in on the stop for the Vulcans. As we look at the replay of this one, Temple, just no running room. And actually, that was Jordan Bowman coming from the high safety spot. Jordan Bowman kind of reminds me of a little bit of a Ryan Clark kind of safety. Plays in the box all the time, and he's looking to make that tackle in the backfield against the runner. 2nd and 9. Now Williams going to keep it himself. Has some room, gets to the outside. It'll be a first down before he's taken down at about the 39. And something I noticed on this play, you probably won't see it on the replay here because it was away from where the ball was. But the receiver on the near side of the screen, right towards the bottom of your screen at home, he's being covered by Vondell Bell, but Vondell Bell is moving over towards the middle of the field, expecting a run and leaving that receiver with a lot of cushion. As you see right there, towards the bottom near the graphic, Vondell Bell is kind of screening over towards the middle. Williams hands out to Temple. Temple has some room. He's into the middle of the field again, into Cal territory, down to the 46, and a first down. California. There's just no stopping this run game. As you've seen, 316 yards a game is 316 yards a game. I don't care who you've played. That's a terrific stat. And they're well over 100, 110 so far already. We're not even out of the first quarter with 2:05 left. Is IUP in a 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Temple, run up the middle. He will gain about 3 or 4 yards. I'll call it 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. And Aaron Terry there to make the stop. And it's good to see him back. He looked like he left with a possible shoulder injury or something against Slipper Rock. Good to see him back. And he's actually at the safety spot now as Arnell Farmer has been demoted from the starting position. Vondell Bell and Brandon Edwards are the starters. Quentin Smith is out there at the corner position now at the far side of the screen. Williams gonna go throw now. He fakes it. Juwan Turner not able to catch up with him. Jordan Bowman's trying to catch him from behind. Lenny Williams will just ride out of bounds. Lenny Williams, he is a fast kid. And it's a designed run all the way as Lenny Williams went back to throw. And there was some pressure there, but Juwan Turner, and it looks like that might have been Haddock. We're not able to catch up with them, and of course, their defensive lineman. It's gonna be hard for them to catch up with a speed quarterback like that. Williams 1st and 10, 1 minute to go. And there's a false start No call here. There's a late flag, so we'll see what this does. It's going to be a 2-yard gain for IUP. We'll see, because there was movement against the IUP offensive line, but there was no call on the false start. We'll see what the call is going to be. If this is in California, it's a very questionable call, as IUP definitely moved first. Could be an illegal shift or motion in there as well, but we'll see, as the ref's about to make his call. And it's a false start against IUP's offensive line. So like I said, there was some movement on that line. Looked like it might have come from the left guard position, left tackle. From my vantage point, as I'm in the press box a little bit above the stadium at a little bit of an angle as well. So that's going to bring up 1st and 15 for IUP. Man in motion is Jackson. Now hand off to Temple. He's got running room up the middle. He's taken now from behind by Errol Brewster, the former IUP Crimson Hawk. It's a first down though. 1st and goal coming up for the Crimson Hawks is Chris Temple. He has eyes right at the middle and keeps making these cuts away from the defenders. He's doing a phenomenal job so far, in my opinion. 25 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. IUP does not have to run a play here, but it looks like they will. I mean, why not? You're right there. Lenny Williams in the shotgun. Temple right next to him. We'll see here. Can California stop the run this close to the end zone? Hand off to Temple. Up the middle, and he will. Let's see. Looks like they're going to mark him short. Looks like he's going to get down to the 1-yard line. They'll call it the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal when we come back, though, as that's the end of the first quarter. IUP will have to wait to score again until we come back after commercial break here on CUTV.
Save preset 1 for Cal U's best music. More music in the car, more music in the door, more music everywhere. This is 91.9 WCAL Power 92. The home of the Vulcan Nation, playing Cal U's best music. 91.9 WCAL. WCAL Power 92.
And welcome back here to CUTV's coverage of the 7th annual Coal Bowl. 9-7 in favor of California after the first quarter, but IUP right at the end zone, maybe half an inch really away from scoring again. 15 minutes on the clock. It'll be 2nd and goal. IUP so far over 145 rushing yards in this game. They don't have a single passing yard so far, as California's defense has been worked on the ground. Williams, there's some motion. Temple into the end zone, though. It won't matter. There's no flag anyways, as IUP goes into the end zone for the touchdown. It's 13-9, and the extra point unit will come on to put up the kick. It's Chris Temple. That's all he did in the first quarter and more. Just running the ball up the middle and to the outside as well. As we'll see coming on for the extra point. The refs are going to make a call here. And the refs are just asking for the game clock to be reset to 14:53 after it did not stop immediately after the runner got into the end zone.
Ryan stood on for the extra point.
And this will be Stewart on for the extra point. It's up, and it is no good. So IUP misses an extra point of their own. IUP still with a 4-point lead, 13-9. This one's going to come down to inches here on CUTV.
First published in the 1880s, the California Times is the oldest student media at California University. Circulating 3,000 issues weekly on campus and in the surrounding community, the Times' mission is to deliver fair and balanced news to the student population of California University. All students are welcome to be a part of the California Times. Our offices are located in the Natali Student Union. Keep up to date with the Times online at www.caltimes.org, Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
And welcome back. California down 13-9 after a missed extra point from Stewart, as both teams have now missed an extra point in this contest. As the ball on the kickoff fell down again, we'll have to get Watkins out there to hold it. As I mentioned before, the wind has been bad so far, and it's actually picked up. And I don't even think it had anything to do with that mixed extra point, honestly. I think the kicker just went up and tried to whack it as hard as he could, and it just pushed it to the left. As now we'll see the kickoff away, and this is a short kick. Feeling about the 33. Returned by Smorey to the 39, and that wind, you can definitely tell, is affecting this game so far, and those kickoffs and those field goal opportunities. As Smorey fielded about the 33, gets to the 39. California will start on their third drive of the game with 14:48 left in the first half. And of course, you have not heard any other voice besides mine tonight on the telecast. If you have, there may be something wrong with your TV set, or you have ghosts in your house, and you may want to check that out. It is towards Halloween, as my partner Matt Hagee next to me on WCAL just kind of gave me a weird look when I mentioned ghosts. So yeah, it's that kind of night. As we'll see now, California, only 10 men on the field. Ryan McCauley's gonna have to run out real quick. 5 seconds on the play clock. California has to snap the ball. Harris gets snapped. It'll be a handoff to Wheeler. He's gonna get to the outside. He has some room, and he will gain about 8 yards before being tripped up. They'll actually mark him a 9-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 1. Jimmy Wheeler made something out of what looked to be nothing. A lot of blockers there, and just made himself skinny and fit through the tackle. This will be 2nd and 1, 14:25 to go here in the second quarter. Harrison, the pistol formation, 2 receivers. It'll be a handoff to Wheeler again. He has the first down and just a little bit more right at midfield at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 coming up for the Vulcans. And Jimmy Wheeler, only a few yards, but look at this cut here. Getting right back in the middle. You know who kind of reminds me of? I'm not even going to lie about this. He kind of looks like a young Le'Veon Bell with the way he cuts and tries to make himself skinny through the tacklers. Maybe you saw that against the Chargers on Monday night. Of course, Le'Veon Bell hitting the walk-off run. As now we're going to get a flag here. This will be a false start against California. Now push them back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15, 13:57 to go. Well, actually, it's going to be encroachment on the offense. Number 7, Des Green. That's something you rarely see, as Des Green was basically lining up offsides on his offensive field. That's the first time we've seen that this season. And now Harris on 1st and 15 in the shotgun. Harris back to throw, hasn't thrown in a little bit. Now he's hit as he throws and pushed down at the last second. There's no flag there, as he was absolutely hit well after the play was over, and there's no flag from the refs. The refs are letting these teams play, which I can't appreciate, because this is a huge rivalry game. But at some points, you have to make sure you protect the players, because you look there, Harris was hit a little bit after that, though. He was thrown down to the ground, and there was no flag on the play. You see Franklin and Fiore will join Harris in the offensive backfield. 13:38 to go. 2nd and 15. Harris gonna hand it off. Wheeler makes a man miss, then he runs into his own guy. He's running backwards now, and he's gonna lose some yardage, even more than he already did. That's gonna be a 5-yard loss. 3rd and 20 coming up for the Vulcans, as Jimmy Wheeler looked like he might have had a chance, but then all of the IUP defenders swarmed at him at once after running into his own man. Looked like that was number 70 for the offensive line. Looks like that might have been Seaman, who's the right guard. See the Vulcans 3rd and 20. This is not impossible for them to pick up, as the receivers that the Vulcans have can definitely extend the field. Gary Brown and Kawan Scott. Harris gets a snap. No pressure. Now he's going to run it himself and gets to about midfield at the 48-yard line. This will bring up 4th and 12. There's just nothing downfield. He's able to make something out of what seemed to be a terrible situation. California will come out with a punt, though. You see James Harris, you can tell he's taking a beating because his shoulder pad is out. His jersey is coming untucked. Basically, Harris has been running for his life for the last few weeks. As we're going to see Smorey and Keir both out here. Now remember, Smorey, and the last time California was supposed to punt, he ran it for a 1st down. And Michael Keir, of course, is the backup quarterback. He could throw it. As Keir's going to kick it away, though, and it's going to be a far kick out of bounds. We'll see where they mark this one. And there's going to be a scrum at midfield. Let's see, that's McCulley. I can't tell who the IUP player is. We'll see if we can tell in a second. As you look at the PSAC schedule, Edinburgh at Gannon. Gannon was able to hold on there. They were up at one point 42-20. They only won 49-42. A close scare there. Slippery Rock defeated Mercyhurst today. Shippensburg defeated Westchester. Bloomsburg was able to hold on in overtime against Kutztown, a very close game. And we'll have to check for updates for those last 3 games later on. As right now, the only night game going on in the PSAC, California at IUP, of course, the one you're watching at home. 12:23 to go in the 1st half. Ball will be about the 24 for the 1st and 10 play. Man in motion is Jackson. Williams gets the handoff and gives it to Temple, and he will be taken down. No gain on this play. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 approaching as Jordan Bowman was able to lead the pack of tacklers for California. As maybe California's starting to catch on that all Temple does is go up the middle, and when they go to the outside, Williams is the one that's going to take the handoff and keep it himself. We'll see a few subs for IUP. Under 12 minutes to go now here in the 2nd quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Crimson Hawks. Man in motion, and it's going to be a keeper for Williams. There's some defenders there, and he's taken down from behind. Looks like that is Bop on the tackle. Gets to the 31. That's going to be a 3rd and 4 coming up. And you see Williams got through a hole, but Corey Bop was able to wrap him up by his legs, and that might be the only way you get him down tonight. He's become a very shifty back. Now, Juwan Turner jumped a little bit, but he was able to get back. No offsides call or encroachment against the Vulcans. Now, Williams, he's going to go back to throw for the 1st time. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. That receiver was number 11 for IUP, Swanheek Brown, and that's IUP's first 3 and out of the night, so both teams will have to punt the ball away. And remember, this is critical because the wind so far in this stadium has pushed kicks that are going where California is returning it back at the kicking team. This punt may travel 20 yards in the air. California has to be very aware if they touch it to fall on it immediately. As you see the punter coming out, Jordan Spangler, number 43, a transfer from Mercyhurst this year. California has seen him before. And here's the punt, almost blocked, and it is short. And California will watch it just bounce and be stopped at the 40 as the Cal coaches are next to me, and all they are yelling is poison, 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 which basically means, get out of the way, I'm assuming. As you look at the West standings, Clarion at our last check was up 23-10 on Seton Hill, so it looks like they will probably be 7-0 when they face the Vulcans next week. Slippery Rock did win today. California, though, if they win out, and IUP or somebody else on Slippery Rock's schedule is able to defeat the Rock, California would be your West champions. They are not out of this yet, as everybody below them has pretty much been eliminated, I guess you can say. They would need a lot of help if they are able to move up. As it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vulcans, 10:50 to go in the 1st half. Harris moving away, gets about 5 yards before he gets out of bounds. And they're actually gonna, yes, they will mark him at the 45. It'll be a 5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5 coming up as Harris was looking for Kawan Scott, but Kawan Scott went out as a blocker, thinking it was going to be a run play instead of a play action. But Harris was able to pick up 5 yards on that play.
45-yard line.
Actually, a good pickup on a play that looked to possibly be broken. As we have 2nd and 5 for the Vulcans. 10.5 left in the first half. Harris hands it off to Fiore, and Fiore falls down after a gain of a yard. Looks like he didn't get touched. The turf monster might have come up and grabbed him. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Vulcans.
3rd down and 4.
As Fiore and Franklin check out, Fiore will stay in. Wheeler was going to look like he was coming in, but he stays off the field. Under 10 minutes now in this second quarter. So far this game been moving at a somewhat slow pace, it seems. Harris back to throw, under pressure, and there's interference, and there's no flag on the play at all, and that's surprising. Fiore was hit well before that pass may have even been thrown, and there's no flag. Let's see if you can find it on this replay. You see Fiore was down. Dorian Lane was the one to hit him. It might be just too close for the refs to call. The refs, like I said, they're letting these teams play, which I can definitely appreciate. Now Kier and Smorey both back out to punt. Second straight punting opportunity for the Vulcans. Smorey gonna kick it away. It's a long punt. It'll bounce. IUP return man will field it on a fair catch at the 15-yard line, where IUP will start their next drive. As you look at IUP's schedule, they have played one less game, and they will play one less game than everybody this year, which could hurt their possible playoff chances if they are able to have those towards the end of the season. I mentioned they lost in a heartbreaking fashion to Kutztown to open their season when they were up 27-6. And you can imagine how bad they felt after that 34-33 loss. But the big thing is they've scored 30 points in every game, and since then, they've beaten every team by more than 20. As you have Slippery Rock and Clarion, Gannon, and Westchester all on your schedule. IUP has a very tough road ahead in these next 5 games, including tonight. If IUP's going to do something this year, it's going to take at least 4 wins out of that group, maybe even possibly 5, and trying to clinch a spot. Well, not clinch a spot, but at least secure a spot in the playoffs. As it's a handoff to Temple, he gets to the outside, and he won't be going anywhere as he's continually driven back by Cal defenders. Gets to about the 17, it looks like. Give him a 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 7. You see here on this run, gave him probably a favorable spot. I don't even know if he got that far as the California defense was able to swarm around him, as they played the run a little bit better so far in the second quarter. Lenny Williams in shotgun. Gonna be a fake handoff, and Williams gonna run it himself up the middle. He will get to the 29, or excuse me, 24. That's gonna be just short of a first down. It'll bring up 3rd and inches. We'll see what IUP does here, because this is a precarious situation. If you just want to run the ball at the middle, I'm sure California's gonna try and plug that up and maybe force you to the outside. We'll see what they do. 8:28 to go here in the first half. 3rd and 1 is on the board, but really it's 3rd and inches. A very close play here. 10 seconds on the play clock for the Crimson Hawks. As now IUP move. Let's see though, California may have forced them to jump. We'll see what the call is going to be. And this one's going against IUP as it's a false start. That'll make it a 3rd and 6 instead of the close 3rd and 1 like it previously was. And I mentioned California did jump, but it looks like they did not cross the line of scrimmage, which forced IUP to jump. The IUP offensive lineman then reacted to California's defense, but he wasn't lured into that. So go on IUP. 8:05 to go in the second quarter. It'll be 3rd and 6. Ball's on the 19. Need to get to the 25 for a new set of downs. Lenny Williams in shotgun. And now we're going to get a timeout by IUP. This is their second of the first half. 7:52 to go in the first half. 3rd and 6 will be the down and yards to go after play resumes when IUP is done with their timeout. As California has definitely improved their run defense in the second quarter. IUP, I think it's hard to block in the first series of every game. I mean, you saw last week California scored first drive. They scored first drive here. They scored first drive against Edinburgh, Virginia State. And likewise, other teams have done that against California too. But California has made the necessary adjustments, it looks like, to stop the run. And that's how you're going to beat this IUP team. Force them into punting the ball away and letting your offense do some work and some turnovers. Honestly, the first team that turns the ball over in this one may possibly be the team that loses this game. That's the way it's playing out right now. It's a very close contest, 13-9, 7:52 left in the first half still. As we're going to see IUP's offense return to the field. Only 2 attempted passes tonight so far for IUP. One was completed for no gain. The other fell incomplete to Swannick Brown. Now Williams, he's going to go back to throw. Looks like there's a flat there. That's Temple. He will get to the first down, and he's finally taken down at the 35 by Aaron Terry. There were some defenders there just not able to bring him down, and it looks like Williams was really telegraphing that play the entire time as well, as Tarver tried to jump up and block it down, but Brendan Blair looked to miss the tackle. Aaron Terry is able to track him down. 1st and 10. It's a screen, and Jordan Brown is just going to bounce out of bounds at the 39. It's a 4-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 6. The clock will start again, as the clock will not stop after a play goes out of bounds until the final 2 minutes of the quarter. Williams in shotgun again, 2nd and 6. It's going to be a handoff to Temple. He will gain about 3 yards. And I'll bring up 3rd and 3 from the 42. Need to get to the 45 to move the chains again. As Temple goes in, but looks like Devontae Suber was right there, as well as possibly that looked like that might have been Chaz Veal on the play, but was not exactly sure. As we're under 7 minutes now left in the first half. And one thing I've noticed, Chris Temple is really not coming out of this game at all. He's an every down back, and you can see why. He's playing really well. Only thing I have to suggest to him is maybe put some sleeves on. It's cold out. Williams in shotgun. Be a handoff to Temple, and he won't get there. He's going to lose a yard on the play, actually, as it'll be 4th and 4. California's defense plugs the middle, like I said they might have done previously in this drive, and gets the punting situation to come up, as it looks like that was possibly Jawan Turner in there, and it was Jawan Turner in there on the wrap, and get the man down for a tackle for loss. Jawan Turner, all PSAC West performer last year. Not as many sacks this year, but tackles for loss, he's really racking up in that department. As Spangler will come out to punt again, and remember, the wind has affected kicks this way. California almost blocks the punt. Very, very, very close, as it'll bounce and be fielded about the 36. And my goodness, I know that was very close to being blocked, because the California coach next to me started screaming and thinking inches away from a blocked punt there. As now you see right there our CUTV Twitter page at CUTV_PA. Best way to follow along with us and see where we're going, what we're doing. Look inside the truck as the shoot goes on. And of course, this one is one that you would definitely want to follow along, as we've also got basketball season coming up. Hard to believe it's only less than a month away already, with California men and women's basketball on CUTV, as Harris gets the snap, and it's a screen. Gary Brown breaks the tackle. He's got some room on the sideline. He breaks back into the middle. It's down to the 40 and down at the 35. Big play for the Falcons, sets California up in IUP territory. 1st and 10 coming up with 5:42 to go. And that's Gary Brown's first catch of the game. Makes a man miss, and that's what started his long run down the field. As California back on the ball, ready for the next play. 1st and 10, 5.5 left. Harris hands off to Wheeler. Wheeler gets to the outside, and he's taken out of bounds at about the 30. It'll be a 5-yard pickup. 2nd and 5 coming up.
Jimmy Wheeler.
5:20 to go here in the first half. IUP's defense has started to step up, but also IUP's has as well. California, if they're able to score the way their defense is playing right now, looks like that could really favor into this contest later on. And remember, IUP will get the kickoff to start the second half. Broken eye, sort of pistol formation coming up now for Harris and company. 2nd and 5. 5 on the play clock. Gets the snap, and Wheeler right up the middle. He's got a first down and a little bit more. Taking that inside the 25, down to the 23. That's California. Again, their run game doing pretty good so far tonight. Only a few passes, and you have to imagine the wind and the cold weather is affecting that, because I can imagine how hard it is to catch a ball from James Harris. I mean, he is a former baseball player. Probably zips it in there. Imagine if it's cold, your hands are going to be like stone, and it's going to hurt a lot after you catch a pass like that. 1st and 10, 4:30 to go in the first half. Fake handoff. Gary Brown on the screen again. He's got some blockers. Gets back out to the outside and taking that inside the 20. Looks like at the 18. That'll be a 5-yard pickup. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Vulcans. As Gary Brown came back out on that bubble screen and had to break it back to the outside before gaining a few more yards. Steve Franco was the one to take him down, number 12 for IUP.
Ball on the 18-yard line, 2nd down.
Now Harris in 2nd and 5, under 4 minutes to go now here in the first half. Harris hands out to Fiore. Fiore trying to get to the outside. He will get the first down. Let's see where they mark him. They're actually going to mark him short, maybe a couple yards. He's down to the 15. He's going to be a 3rd and 2. We'll see here on the play. And it looks like he was out of bounds, so a good call there by the refs, who was down on the field watching that play all the way. Harris hands out to Franklin. Franklin trying to get to the first down. He's not able to. This is going to bring up 4th down. California looks like they want to go for it. Harris is staying out on the field. IUP putting in some of their bigger defensive linemen on the play as well. We're going to see Wheeler and McCauley come in. Franklin and Fiore go out. 4th and 2. IUP trying to pump up the fans that are here. 3:05 left in the first half. Harris fakes the handoff. It's a play there to McCauley. He's got the first down. And McCauley will be at the 13. We'll see where they mark it. McCauley, let's see where he got. It's very hard to tell if he got there or not. And we'll see, and it's going to be IUP ball. They did not give McCauley the spot. Now let's see here. He needed to get to the 13 for the first down, and we'll look at it closely. Ball's at the 15. McCauley gets the ball at the 15, and he's tackled at the 14. And tell you what, that actually may be a good call. I don't know if McCauley's ever able to get past Franco. A good play by Franco. Looks like there was also a little bit of a face mask in there as well that should have been called, but there was no penalty. 1st and 10 for IUP. Williams going to keep it himself. Tries to go through a hole. Now he gets big outside, and now Juwan Turner's able to wrap him up behind the line. Loss of a yard on the play. 2nd and 11 coming up with 2:40 left in the first half. You can tell the excitement has definitely ratcheted up here late in the second quarter. Second and 11 coming up, as both offenses have started to stall as the game has continued to go on. And I mean, that's the way these games always seem to go when you play IUP and Cal, especially last year, 21-13, that was the final. Possibility for that again this year, maybe. Williams hands it off to Temple, trying to go up the middle, nowhere to go. Maybe gets a yard or two, and they're actually going to mark him only for a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 10 coming up. As we're starting to see IUP relying maybe a little bit too much on the run, not getting anything going with the passing game. Now California on a 3rd and 10. You maybe expect a draw, but also playing out on those flats. IUP has not attempted to pass more than about 5 yards downfield all game so far, with 1:41 left to go in the first half. as we'll see 3rd and 10, under a minute and a half now to go in the second quarter. 3 on the play clock. Williams gets the snap. There's a flat, and Tarver almost picks it off. And if he had, he would have walked into the end zone. He had a mile to go with between him and the defender behind it. He could have crawled into the end zone. Of course, though, he'd be down once he hit the field. But look here on this play. Cameron Tarver almost did that earlier when they played the exact same play to Temple on the flat screen. Tarver this time getting the good job, coming up and tipping it. Just not enough space for him to get that ball and walk into the end zone. And Aaron Terry standing inside midfield at about his own IUP's 46. I've said before, these punts are not traveling very far. You got a minute 18 to go in this quarter. Spangler's punt almost blocked again. Terry gonna let it bounce. Green right there, almost hit him, as it's gonna be marked down at the 42-yard line. California with time to work, 1:07 to go. James Harrison Company will come back out. And remember, California has 3 timeouts left in this half as well. So they have plenty of time to be able to try and get into the end zone and take a lead into halftime. As Harrison Company will come out. You just see Aaron Terry there. He's not had a chance to return one tonight. That's because the wind is not being his friend so far. But it's giving California great field position so far. Their average starting field position is about their own 30, 40-yard line. Now Harris gets a snap. And he's sacked back about the 50-yard line. They'll mark him at the 49. Late pressure there. We'll see who is on that sack for IUP. Was looking downfield to throw. Looks like that was number 44 for the Crimson Hawks. That is Jordan Batts, as Cal U will take a timeout with 55 seconds remaining in the second quarter, and that sack may have been a drive killer on that first play. And in case you have just tuned into CUTV, here's what you've missed. Big play when it was still light out. Jimmy Wheeler, a 13-yard rush into the end zone. That was the first touchdown of the game. No extra point, though, as Brazil missed it due to the wind. And then Chris Temple, about a 30-yard run into the end zone, scampering away from defenders, makes Aaron Terry shake off a little bit as he runs into the end zone. Made it 7-6 IUP. And then here, Chris Temple running into the end zone again, extending his PSAC best, now 12 rushing touchdowns on the season. Next behind him is John Franklin, who has 9. And you see California ready to come out again. It's definitely gotten dark here so far at IUP as game started at 6. You can see all the dark clouds moving in now. The lights are on here at Miller Stadium. 55 seconds to go. It's going to be 2nd and 17 for the Vulcans.
The IUP 49-yard line.
Harris back to throw. Completes a screen to Wheeler. He's got nowhere to go, though. And it looks like Wheeler may have wanted to throw it. It's going to be a loss of 3 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd and 20. This is the second time California's had a 3rd and 20 in this first half. As you look here, Wheeler really had a look that he wanted to throw it, possibly. Hard to tell. You never can read into the mind of a player unless you are that player, and I'm not going to even try. 30 seconds left. California's going to take their time. Maybe one last-ditch effort to try and get into the end zone. I mean, Kawan Scott does have a little bit of a cushion against his cornerback. You've got 16 seconds, 15 seconds. I don't even know if California's going to run a play here. They may just let time run down and then maybe try one. As you have 10 seconds, California takes a timeout, down 13-9. And looking in the playbook for this one, you have to have something that gets you downfield, maybe even sets you up field goal position, but that could take a lot of time off the clock. Now the clock will stop after the play is done if it's a first down. But 3rd and 20, you may just see a screen here to Gary Brown or somebody and see if he can break one into the open field and run into the end zone, as that play has worked plenty of times before for California. I remember last year at Mercyhurst when Gary Brown put up over 200 receiving yards in a classic shootout game against the Lakers at Toledo Field. Gary Brown did it a couple times. He's already done that once tonight on a screen, and he gained a few more yards on another screen. So Gary Brown has that breaking ability to break off a screen. Kawan Scott, of course, is your deep threat. He's 6'4", 6'5", and we'll see. The corner matched up against him is Jay Watkins. and Jay Watkins only stands at 5'11", so there's a little bit of a height differential. Of course, there always is whenever you're facing Kawan Scott. 10 seconds to go in the first half, 3rd and 20. Harris back to throw, under pressure. He's going to escape. Now Harris throws downfield. There's a receiver there. That's Gary Brown. Gary Brown, incomplete. And there's no interference on the play as IUP's defender basically stopped. And Gary Brown was not able to get to the ball. He almost did, though. And that will end the first half. You look here on this play. James Harris back to throw, under pressure. He's able to escape to his left. And then downfield, you probably won't see this on the replay. You actually might. Look here, IUP defender stopped and he ran right into Gary Brown. That should have been an interference play, but usually in the last play of a half, refs don't throw the flag for interference as they're trying to let people play. So, California down 13-9 at halftime. IUP will receive the second half kick, and when we return, we'll see who is able to take home the Coal Pail Trophy in the 7th edition of the Coal Bowl here on CUTV.
The Multimedia Access Center is an open lab where California University students can work on an assignment, attend a workshop, print a document for class, or take advantage of a variety of services such as large format printing, web development, and graphic design. Located in the renovated Natali Student Center across from the student bookstore, the Mac Lab is also your home for OrgSync support and services. For hours of operation or for more information, stop by the Mac Lab, visit our website, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter.
Say preset 1 for Cal U's best music. More music in the car, more music in the door, more music everywhere. This is 91.9 WCAL Power 92. The home of the Vulcan Nation, playing Cal U's best music. 91.9 WCAL. WCAL Power 92.
First published in the 1880s, the California Times is the oldest student media at California University. Circulating 3,000 issues weekly on campus and in the surrounding community, the Times' mission is to deliver fair and balanced news to the student population of California University. All students are welcome to be a part of the California Times. Our offices are located in the Natali Student Union. Keep up to date with the Times online at www.caltimes.org, Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Complete news, entertainment, and sports coverage from around the area, region, and nation is found right here on CUTV News Center every Thursday at 5 p.m. with anchors Jennifer Germano, Zach Prosba, entertainment with Mike Mays, and sports with Matt Hagee. Follow us on YouTube, CUTV News Center, and on Twitter, CUTV_PA, for your complete rebroadcast of your Vulcan sports. News Center airs every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Armstrong and Atlantic Broadband.
Welcome back to the 7th annual Coal Bowl here on CUTV. A huge rivalry between the IUP Crimson Hawks and California Vulcans, where at halftime IUP up 13-9. I'll be honest though, California seemed like momentum was going in their favor as the half ended, and we'll see who's able to carry momentum along with them as the second half begins. And of course, we will look at our halftime stats now. You see California doing a very good job of rushing the football, in my opinion. 114 rushing yards in the first half, 88 yards passing, only 2 yards behind IUP in terms of total yards. No turnovers, very few penalties. California, like I said, it seems momentum is going their way. IUP 182 rushing yards, but most of those came on 2 drives. California started stopping the run and only 22 passing yards. If this becomes a game where IUP has to throw the ball, I don't know if IUP is going to be able to continually play like that and get a rhythm out of their offense. As we have a few seconds before the half starts, we will look at the first half highlights here. You see Harris hands it off to Jimmy Wheeler at about a 13-yard run. This was the first touchdown of the game. Missed extra point though for California, made it 6-0. And IUP on their first drive ran 86 yards, literally ran 86 yards downfield to give themselves a 7-6 lead. And then you'll see after this touchdown, Chris Temple again into the end zone, as you'll see from about a half yard out, made it 13-6, and then California added a field goal from William Brazil, made it right through the uprights. The wind has affected this game a lot. The cold has affected this game a lot, I think. I know I'm standing in the press box, and there's basically a wind tunnel in here as both doors are open. And you know, it's rivalry week, and big game going on tonight was Michigan State, Michigan. And I'll be honest, I picked Michigan State to win the national title this year. I don't know why. I just thought Connor Cook, senior quarterback, decent defense. I thought they could do it. And Michigan State being down by 2 points with like a minute or so left, if that. Botched snap on a punt from Michigan led into a touchdown for Michigan State. We thought it was a Hail Mary at first, but Michigan just botched a play and led into a score. And I said on the halftime stats, no turnovers. The first time a turnover happens, I mentioned it before, that team could be the one that comes out with a loss out of this game. Turnovers in rivalry games are held such under a big microscope, and we haven't seen any yet. Both these defenses have started to pick up their game. It's 13-9. IUP will receive the second half kickoff. California will be kicking from left to right, so that should help them in terms of how the ball travels downfield, because going from right to left, the ball is going nowhere basically. It's going maybe in the air. It's getting stopped about 10, 20 yards downfield. So we'll see what the kicks do on this direction, as we've not really seen that yet so far tonight, as William Brazil will be out to kick it away, and back to return for IUP will be Jordan Brown and Walt Piguez.
William Brazil will kick off.
Brazil waiting for the kickoff, and it's up, and it's definitely farther than any kick so far, as Piguez, it hits his legs. He's able to field it, finds a hole, and he's taken down at about the 27. So a decent, maybe 17-yard return on that one. Gets us started here in the third quarter. IUP, great first drive, very good second drive, but since then, 3 and outs, punting situations, and the punt job has not been good tonight, not because the punter, Jordan Spangler, is doing a bad job himself, but California has almost blocked 2 of them, and the wind has affected all the kicks. As we will see, IUP start on offense here, 1st and 10. Brown in motion, it's going to be an end around, and Brown gains maybe a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 coming up, a good stop there by the California defense to sniff out that end around. So look at the replay here. They've had a man in motion most of tonight, has IUP, but right there looks like might have been Jawan Turner, actually, excuse me, no, not Jawan Turner, it was Adam Ihochi who was able to get the pressure and that stop. Now, Williams going to throw. Now he's going back the other direction. There's some open field, and he's tripped up about a yard short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. Wasn't sure who tripped Williams up there, but he had a lot of room if he's able to miss that tackle, as it was a bootleg play, and Tarver was chasing after him, but because Williams stopped, Tarver had to too, before he could decide where he was going to go with the pressure. Looks like that might have been Josh Page with the trip. And now it's going to be a handoff up the middle, and Chris Temple has a lot of room. Aaron Terry's going to be the last line of defense. Looks like he might get there. Now Temple trying to cut back. Temple will be tripped up and down inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. First down, IUP. It was those kinds of runs that hurt the Vulcans in the early going in this game. Chris Temple right up the middle. Tyler Haddock not able to get around his blocks to bring him down behind the line. And all that stood between him and the end zone was Aaron Terry and Vondell Bell, who was the man who eventually brought him down. It'll be 1st and 10, 13.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ball on the 16-yard line. Need to get to the 6 for a first down and need 16 yards for a touchdown.
First down at the Cal 18.
And excuse me, they actually marked the ball at the 18, not the 16. Now Williams, can he keep it himself? Goes up the middle, and he will dive forward for about a 9-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 1 coming up. Took about 3 or 4 guys to bring him down. It looks like it was a designed run all the way. The middle opened up. Good blocking there. California really fled to the outside to try and protect against the screens, but IUP really hasn't utilized that play a lot tonight, maybe a couple times, and it's only worked maybe once or twice. As we'll see a 2nd and 1, ball on the 9-yard line. Williams will keep it himself. Now Williams gonna be driven back. He's still going, and now he's gonna be marked with a no loss on the play, which is very surprising. Lenny Williams never got back to the line of scrimmage, it looked like. He was not stopped on the play. He kept his momentum going. He didn't stop himself. Maybe there he could have been marked down. He taken down after the play at about the 13. They'll give him a good spot. 3rd and 1. Now Temple handoff. He will maybe get the first down. We'll have to see. It's very close. We'll have to see where the spot is. It's either going to be 4th down or it's going to be 1st down. They're going to have to measure this one. It's very close as Temple was taken down by a swarm of California defenders. Corey Bopp, looked like Super and Turner were in there as well. As we'll get the measurement coming out now as the chain gang will bring out the orange sticks. The ref holding the ball at what looks to be in between the 17 and 18. And this one will be no good, as it'll be 4th and inches. And IUP, if I was Coach Signetti, I'd definitely go for it. First drive, definitely at least try. And if you don't get it, California's pinned back, and they've not been pinned back this far at all tonight. Williams and Temple. Jerron Brown also in on the play. As now we're going to get a timeout taken by California, as there was a lot of subs coming in and out, and at one point one sub was coming in. I believe a coach probably told him, no, don't go in. He ran out, and then Vondell Bell, who was coming out, continued to run off the field and would have been offsides as he was running it through the line of scrimmage. So a timeout taken by Cal U with 11:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. That timeout could come in handy later on. It's a 4th and 1 play. As you look here at the California University Television Facebook, we'll post some photos there. Of course, the big event of the year for us to post our photos is scheduling during the summer. Any new equipment that we may get, any new shows that we may do. This year we've debuted After Hours on CUTV, which is a fully student produced. We've had a lot of stuff on there about it. And of course, when our banquet is held every May towards the end of the year, we post a bunch of pictures on there of the entire group of CUTV crew members. And that's the one time where we're not getting into the dirty work, having to wrap cables and getting our nice leather gloves that I'm wearing tonight. A lot of holes in them, but I have to stay warm somehow. So we will be back to action, 11:50 to go. It's 4th and 1, ball on the 8-yard line. Basically the ball's where it needs to be for the IUP to get the first down. I formation for the Crimson Hawks. Williams gonna hand it off to a fullback, and let's see. He may not have gotten this. It looks like he didn't. They're stopping the play. California's celebrating like they stopped him. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, and it's California ball. Look at this play again, right up the middle. Let's see, that might have been Corey Bopp on the stop. Zavante Super in there as well. Temple, no room to run. 1st and 10 for the Falcons, 11:46 on the clock. Ball on the 9-yard line, so they're actually going to mark IUP with a loss of a yard on that play. So that's the 2nd time California's been faced with a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and stopped IUP. That could be a momentum changer. So we have a broken eye. Harris with Wheeler in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Wheeler. Wheeler's got some room up the middle. He's got a lot of room up the middle. He's to the 15, down to the 18. That's a 1st down. Wheeler gets 10 yards on that first carry.
Cal 1st down.
It's California, of course, coming out in their traditional no-huddle offense. A little bit of a hurry-up. Not extreme hurry-up like we saw last week with Slippery Rock when they would, like I said, only run 10 to 15 seconds between plays. That's something you only see when the Oregon Ducks are playing. Now Harris in shotgun again. It's going to be another handoff to Wheeler. Wheeler right back up the middle, and he's going to plow forward to the 21. That's going to be a gain of 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Wheeler runs the ball. Jamal Labarette made the tackle.
If Few subs now for the Vulcans. Wheeler, Des Green, and McCauley are out. Franklin, Fiore, and Tom Green come in on offense. So there'll be 3 receivers and 2 backs for the Vulcans. Harris fakes the handoff, and it's complete downfield to Gary Brown. Gary Brown makes a man miss. He's at midfield. He makes another man miss, and he's down into IUP territory, down inside the 45 at the 42-yard line. And there's a flag on the play. Let's see what this is going to be. It's in the offensive backfield. And Dorian Lane, one of the captains for IUP, is saying this one's coming back. Looks like it. And there's an illegal man down the field. Let's see. And it's a 5-yard penalty, so that'll make it 2nd and 13. Still second down, so it's not a terrible 10-yard, 15-yard penalty. Only a 5-yard penalty, and California will still have the 2nd down. But man, does that hurt when you get a big play like that in the open field from Gary Brown, who I said, very good open field runner. He reminds me a lot of, well, I always equate to a lot of these players to my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is basically Antonio Brown, and Kawan Scott is the deep threat. Darius Hayward Bay, Martavis Bryant, take your pick. And Luke Smorey, he's definitely Marcus Wheaton in this offense. As now we have 2nd and 13, 10:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. Harris hands it off to Wheeler. Wheeler gets to the outside. He's got some blocks. Gets on the outside again, and he's not able to break away from the tackle. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10. Number 23, Aquino Robertson. Let's see on this play. Robertson came in like a missile fired out of a submarine, coming in to make that stop. It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Vulcans. Under 10 minutes to go now here in the 3rd quarter. Harris has Fiore move over. 4 receivers and 1 side car. 5 down linemen. IUP coming with a little bit of pressure. Harris hands a screen, and that's tackled down immediately. That's number 5 for IUP. It's Takai Turner with the tackle. We'll see here. Fiore, it was a screen all the way, but Takai Turner just came in between 3 offensive linemen for Cal and made that stop. And now we'll see Smorey and Kier both come out for the punt. As IUP's returner, Piguez, will stand about his own 35, waiting for this kick. Kier gonna kick it away. Looked like he might have been trying something fancy there before. Now Piguez has it hit off his hands. This one's gonna be fielded in the 5. He's down at the 1-yard line. What a play by IUP. What a mistake, really, is what you can say, as Piguez should have just let it bounce. It might have gone into the end zone for a touchback. Instead, it touches his hands, and California races down the field to try and get the ball. But Piguez fields it down at the 1-yard line. The way IUP has been playing, all they do is short runs up the middle and outside. California, very good chance for a possible safety on this play, I would have to assume. We've seen plenty of safeties in our high school football game of the week this year on CUTV, which is a little bit of a different aspect because we usually see safeties, once every few games. It seems like every game we have a safety. We'll see if we get one tonight, as it's basically similar situations, bad punt fielding. As here's the handoff. And there's going to be an IUP offensive lineman that jumped. Let's see. Did they call it on Cal, who did jump, or is it on IUP? California did jump, but they got back. Let's see. Does IUP get flagged for a false start again? The refs are still conferring about this one. It's a very critical call because this could really help IUP or pin them even further back. Let's see what the ref's call is going to be. This one's going against IUP. That's going against number 65, one of the offensive linemen for the Crimson Hawks, Tony Morgante. Was not sure who made the first one. Now IUP 1st and 10. 8:55 to go. IUP in a dangerous situation here. Temple in the backfield with Lenny Williams. 2 receivers covered by Bell and Smith. Cal stacking the box with 9 defensive players. Williams gets a snap, hands it out to Temple. Temple, let's see where he is. Maybe gets a yard to the 1 yard line. Hard to say a gain to the 1 yard line sometimes, maybe even the 2. So it's going to be 2nd and 9 coming up. IUP still not in a very pretty situation. And remember, if they have to punt away here, the wind has affected these punts. California could be getting this punt about the 30-yard line in IUP territory. That's only if they have to punt away, though. Still a couple downs before to go. Williams hands off to Temple. He's up the middle, and he's breaking one. Down the field, and he's inside the 25 still, down to the 24. First down IUP. As California, everything they had set up there goes all for naught. Still decent field position for California's defense, though, as IUP has to drive the entire length of the field to even get a possible score on this drive. 8:08 remaining here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for IUP on the 24-yard line. Williams gonna fake the handoff. He does give it to Temple, and he's shipped up from behind at about the 28-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Look at the replay here. Williams thought he had it, but Temple is the one who did, and he's taken down by Corey Bopp, who in the games that Rabchak has missed with injury and when he's off the field, Corey Bopp has actually done a pretty decent job with wrapping up tackles. Luke Rabchak is one of the leading tacklers on this team this year, and having a serviceable linebacker like Corey Bopp come in and replace him and at least do a pretty decent job of tackling is always good for your depth. 2nd and 6 for the Crimson Hawks. It's going to be a handoff, and Chaz Veal read that immediately. What a play by the real deal, Chaz Veal. I could see him scooting in towards the offensive line. Looked like he was going to come on a blitz. We'll see here on this play. He's the first one to hit the running back for IUP. As Chris Temple is not in the game right now. I just noticed that. The runner right now is number 32, Shannon Jackson. Surprised we're not seeing Luigi Listabrenza in the game as well. I remember watching Listabrenza play at Pittsburgh Central Catholic when he played in the Whippeal. He was a very dynamic runner, and last year he did a good job against Cal U. This will be 3rd and decent yardage. That's a play, and it's overthrown of Piquez. And no flag, as there was a down or an offensive lineman down the field before the pass was thrown. No flag. IUP will punt, but that's the third time tonight that Williams has overthrown his receiver, and there were some Cal defenders there, and if they had broken a little bit sooner and dove for the ball and maybe outstretched, could have been a pick there. Very lucky for IUP that did not happen. 6:36 left in the third quarter. Special teams tonight so far going in the favor of the Vulcans. Let's see if that continues. Spangler on for the punt, and this one almost blocked again. That could have been the third almost block. Terry will watch it bounce, and it's going to bounce forward to the 43, where California will start their next drive, see if they can get something going with 6:27 left in the third quarter. As you have so far seen our Twitter page, you've seen our Facebook page, and now the best way to watch all content related to CUTV is CUTV Sports 1. We post all full game and highlights from Cal Vulcan football, basketball, whatever, volleyball, baseball, softball, we do. And of course, also if you want to watch our News Center or After Hours program I mentioned before, CUTV News Center, all one word. And also on CUTV Sports 1, you can find High School Roundup, and of course the Vulcan Football Review every week. That's filmed on Tuesdays. As Harris going to throw downfield. That one's incomplete. Was going for Kawan Scott. Almost there to make the pick was number 7, Eric Williams, one of the safeties playing center field for the Crimson Hawks. They'll bring up 2nd and 10. As Harris has been doing this play a lot tonight, trying to get receivers open. Kawan Scott, he's one of those players, when he's not open, he's still open because of his height, but it's a very tough throw, and he needed to make it perfect right to Kawan Scott, but he was probably even still going to have that ball knocked out because the defender was right behind him. 2nd and 10 now for the Vulcans. Need to get something going on offense. Haven't really done anything tonight, as Gary Brown will catch this one and gain 8 yards into IUP territory at the 49. They'll bring up 3rd and 2. Kai Turner with the stop. Now 3rd and 2. That opens up maybe a little bit of run plays or such, and Jimmy Wheeler is in there as the tailback. Harris getting the play call from the sideline. A fresh play clock. 5:56 to go in the third quarter. This third quarter has been moving pretty fast. both of these teams moving the ball and keeping it in bounds. Now Harris hands it off to Wheeler. There's some IUP defenders there, and Wheeler's not going to get it. He's going to lose some yardage. A couple yards on that play, actually, so it's going to be a 4th and 4. Let's see what Cal U does. They're going to punt the ball away and see if they can pin IUP back again, because they've been having success on defense for the majority of this game, with the exception of the first quarter. Keir and Smoy are both back there. Remember, Keir last time looked like he wanted to possibly throw before kicking it away. Let's see who gets the snap on this one. And it's going to be Keir, and he'll kick it away, and it's going to be a high punt, Major League pop-up style, and it's going to bounce and keep going before it's out of bounds at about the 17-yard line, where IUP will start their next drive. As you've looked so far at all of the ways to follow our content, now you can follow along with all Cal Vulcan athletics at www.calvulcans.com. Our wonderful SID, Matthew Kiefer, who is here tonight at IUP covering this game, does a tremendous job making sure everything is up to date on the site. And of course, basketball season underway soon. I just mentioned the rosters and schedules are out for both of those squads. Go take a look, especially see if California women are able to repeat that national title performance. 5:17 to go here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for IUP. It's a handoff to Temple. Temple right back up the middle, but he's slowed down to the 25. That's a gain of 8 on the play. Will bring up 2nd and 2. And looking at this offensive line, they have been plugging their defensive matchups all night so far. There are times, though, California has really gotten the better of that. And IUP's offensive line, they've had some penalties called against them that they really shouldn't have. I'm not going to say either side has really won that battle yet, as now it's going to be 2nd and 2. And it looks like he got a 1st down, so they'll make it 1st and 10, 4:39 left to go in the third quarter. As Temple, he's back in the game after sitting out a couple plays the last series. We're going to see number 10, Sean McVeigh, come into the game for IUP. He is a redshirt senior receiver. Temple in a shotgun. Fakes the handoff. Williams, or excuse me, no, he does hand it off. It's been very difficult to tell tonight, as they do a very good job of concealing those read option plays, whether Temple or Williams has it. Temple got that one and gained 11 on the play, so it's another 1st down, 4:10 and running to go. As now there's going to be multiple flags on this play, as IUP is going to get called for another false start. As they really, in the best way possible I could say this, as a former baseball player, they really quick pitched California's defense on that play. 4:08 to go in the third quarter. It'll be 1st and 15. As they will move the ball back to the 34-yard line, and the clock will start. Now Williams going to keep it himself up the middle. There's nowhere there, and he's tripped up. Gains maybe 7 yards on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for IUP. 3:45 to go.
42-yard line, 2nd down.
Again, IUP only, I think, 3 or 4 attempted passes tonight. And a couple of them have been in the area where California could have made a play on a turnover possibility. 2nd and 8. Williams going to keep it himself again. He gets to the outside. There was holding there. No call made. He's taken down in bounds about a yard short of a 1st down. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. There was a blatant holding on this line. See right here, as Lardani was driven down into the ground and he was being held there. Ticky-tack call, but should have probably been called. Again, from the first half, the refs aren't calling anything tonight. And I can understand that, because both these teams are rivals. They play chippy, and the way they play, I can understand that. But at some point, towards the end of the game, if a penalty is there and you don't call it, that could really affect the outcome. As Temple gets the handoff up the middle, it's a 1st down into Cal territory at the 46-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Clock stops 2:42 before play resumes again, as it will now, as Temple starting to get up the middle again. Maybe California's defense starting to tire out slightly. As IUP running a lot of plays tonight, much like Shippensburg and Seton Hill and Slippery Rock have done to the Vulcans defense this year. They are a very fatigued group, I have to imagine. 1st and 10. Williams can keep it himself and run. Turner misses on the trip. Now Williams gets a first down to the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 15. Another first down. As IUP is looking like they're back on their first drive of the game again. Up 13-9 with 2:15 and running to go in third quarter. In California, usually their defense at some point late in the game at an opportune time comes up with a turnover, and this could be it. Now Williams hands it off to Temple, up the middle, and Brewster's gonna be there to stop him. That's a 2-yard pickup. 2nd and 8 coming up, under 2 minutes to go now, 1:50 to be exact. IUP, you're basically in 4-down territory because a field goal, even though your kicker may have the leg for it, the wind is too strong right now to even possibly think of a field goal attempt, even though that would make it a touchdown game. Second and 8. Williams, and he does hand it off. There's going to be a flag. We're going to see what this is going to be. Looks like it might be an offsides based on the way it was thrown, but it could be also an illegal motion of some sort. We'll get the call from the official in just a second. And this will be offsides. This is going to go against Rondell Bell, who's not even near the line of scrimmage. He's more out in the secondary as a corner, and he gets flagged for that. You have 1:14 to go as the clock will start again before the end of the quarter. IUP with a 1st and 10. Williams gets a snap, hands off to Temple. He's up the middle, and he's in the end zone. That's the 3rd touchdown of the night for Chris Temple. All they're doing is relying, excuse me, all they're doing is relying on him to get into the end zone, and just like that, IUP is back up double digits. As here in the cold tonight, the run game for the Crimson Hawks has been their bread and butter and what they've needed to do to keep California at bay. Stewart on for the extra point, trying to make it 20-9. As we're gonna get a flag. Looks like there might be too many men on the field for some team. There's going to be 12 men on the field for California. Not really going to affect this extra point at all. They will retry the point after, as this will make it an 11-point game if Stewart hits it. Now remember, he missed one earlier in this exact same spot. It wasn't even the wind, he just pushed it. Here's a snap, it's down, and it is good. So IUP strikes with 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. California needs to get their offense rolling to have a chance to come back in the 7th annual Coal Bowl on CUTV. And we're back. IUP on the backs of Chris Temple and Lenny Williams have a 20-9 lead. Chris Temple so far tonight, 232 rushing yards. Lenny Williams, 138. You have to imagine that that 232 rushing yards is a Coal Bowl record. As we're going to see the kickoff come from IUP. This is that area where the short kicks happen. And it's going to be a pretty short one. It's going to be fair caught at the 27. Jawan Turner fair caught it.
That's a fair catch.
As now we look at the replay of that touchdown. Chris Temple, about 15 yards out, runs into the end zone. 1 minute to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Vulcans, and I could hear the IUP coaches were yelling that there should have been a penalty on that kick because Jawan Turner fair caught it and started to run. I don't even think that's actually a penalty though. So 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter. California 16 minutes to try and come back in this one. Harris gets the snap, goes to throw over the middle, and it's incomplete. Looking for Des Green. He was hit as he caught it and not able to bring it in. They'll bring up 2nd and 10. It's James Harris not able to find anything downfield tonight. He's having to settle with the screens and intermediate passing, which is not his game. He loves to air it out with that former baseball player arm he has. 55 seconds left in the third quarter. Harris downfield. There's a man there. It's Gary Brown, but he overthrows him by a good 5 or so yards. That would have been pay dirt all the way. Gary Brown knows it. You should see him right there. I'll bring up 3rd and 10 now for the Vulcans. James Harris just a little too much under that, and you have to imagine the wind probably picked that in the air as well, aiding to the distance on that throw. That'll bring up 3rd and 10. No time ran off the clock on that last play, which was basically an untimed down. Very rarely see that. I mean, against Virginia State, they didn't stop the clock, so I guess it kind of evens out as the season goes on. 3rd and 10, 55 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And now there's going to be a flag, delay of game against the Vulcans. That'll bring up 3rd and 15. That's good against James Harris for not getting the snap. And now you're hearing the IUP fans and the IUP players start to really ramp up their excitement, trying to get IUP's defense a little bit of a boost out there, trying to stop this Vulcan offense, who has struggled only 30 points in the last 7 quarters. Now Harris back to throw. Downfield, it's complete to Fiore. Fiore makes a man miss. He's got some room. He's trying to go back to the middle of the field though. Does not cut up, and he's going to be a couple yards short of a first down. It'll be 4th and 2. And it looks like they're going to go for it. 33 seconds left in this quarter. California probably has to go for it at this point, as the first team offense will stay on the field. You can always watch for the cadence call too. Try and draw IUP off sides. Let's see here. 4th and 2, 18 seconds left in the third quarter. 13 seconds to snap the ball. Harris gets the ball. And there's going to be a timeout called by IUP. So maybe that will change the decision of Coach Keller and company, as well as Coach Signetti trying to set his defense for the best possible play. Looked like it was either going to be a handoff to Wheeler or a play action play. We'll never know, as that play will not go down in the books. It's a 4th and 2. Need to get to the 38 to continue on this drive. The way California has run the ball, if I'm calling the plays right now, if I'm drawing something up, I draw something to Wheeler, have him go right up the middle. He's had success doing that. He can also bounce it out to the outside and then back into the middle and maybe find some open field right about midfield and try and take it all the way down for a score. If California gets a touchdown, they could just go for the extra point and make it a 20-16 game, or they could go for the 2-point and make it 20-17 and only a field goal game. And the way that the wind is blowing on these extra points, you have to wonder if that is the first option, going for 2 instead of the extra point. As you see James Harris and company come back out onto the field. Fiore and Franklin out on the field instead of Wheeler this time. And for those of you at home wondering, no, James Harris is not one of those quarterbacks that'll just settle with a little bit of a pooch punt. Now Harris going to throw. Downfield, it's caught by Gary Brown. And it's a first down as he caught it and just sat down immediately on the field. And that will be the last play of the third quarter, most likely. You see Gary Brown there. At first I thought he dropped it, and it looks like he bobbled it a little bit, honestly, as that will be the last play of the third quarter. California converts a 4th down to try and continue this drive down 20-9. They've had a second half comeback earlier this year. They need another one here on CUTV.
Yes, I am. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
And we're back here on CUTV. California down 20-9 with a 1st and 10 after a 4th down conversion. 15 minutes left in this game. James Harris will be in the shotgun. Looks like that's Fiore in the backfield with him. He's going to go throw. He's going downfield. He has Gary Brown. He's wide open. It's caught, and he has to dive to catch it. But he is able to come down within inside the 20-yard line at about the 18 or so. First play. Big play. As you look here, Harris with a lot of protection, and this time the wind doesn't pick it up, and actually he's throwing into the wind, so it may have slowed it down enough for Gary Brown to come back for that one. It was a 38-yard completion. 1st and 10 for the Vulcans here at the 20. Harris hands off to Wheeler. Wheeler makes a cut, and he's taken out of bounds about the 17. We'll call it a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 coming up. And this drive has taken a couple minutes. California with a 4th down conversion to extend it. It's of the utmost importance to score here. Even a field goal helps at this point. You need some points on the board. 2nd and 7. Harris back to throw. Into the end zone. Gary Brown's there, and it's incomplete. He juggles it out of bounds, as that would have been 6 points for the Vulcans with an opportunity to go for the extra point or for 2. As that play was set up perfectly. Gary Brown into the corner. If you watch the Steelers-Chargers game this week, you could probably see Antonio Gates running that play as he did a couple times. Now with 13:58 remaining in the 4th quarter, it's 3rd and 8, and this is definite 4th down territory, I would assume, for the Vulcans, so you don't have to get all 8 yards on this play. 3rd and 8. Harris going with his cadence, trying to maybe draw IUP off sides and make this a shorter bit of a play. Now Harris going back to throw. Throws into the end zone. That's Smorey, and it's almost intercepted. Oh my goodness. That was Williams. That would have been an easy turnover for the IUP Crimson Hawks, and just like Gary Brown, Williams drops this one, and you have to wonder, does the cold factor into this as your hands, I mean, I can already feel my hands are starting to kind of clench up, and I'm gonna have to go thaw them out a little bit later. You ever get that feeling where you can't move your fingers to text? Imagine a football hitting them coming out of the air. It has to be hard. 4th and 8, 13:52 to go in the 4th quarter. This could be a deciding play in the game later on. Harris back to throw. Throws it, incomplete. There's a flag though. So let's see what this is gonna be. Don't think Harris was hit as he threw, but could be defensive holding at some point. Looks like Cal's defense is coming out though. This is going against California, so the play won't matter. It's gonna be holding against Zach Moorhead, the left tackle for the Vulcans. 1st down for IUP. As you see, Harris just had to telegraph this one, and even if Fiore had caught it, he would have had to drag his foot out of bounds, and it would have been well short of a 1st down. As IUP will have 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line, 13:47 left in the quarter. Williams in shotgun. Hands off to Temple. Temple going nowhere. He's tackled down for a loss of 2. That's going to bring up 2nd and 12. The California defense, they have been playing pretty well There's some times where they'll get gashed for a few large runs, but for the most part, they've held this IUP run in check. When you look at the stat book at this game, that won't tell you everything. They've made some good plays on the runners tonight, in my opinion. Williams in pistol with a sidecar a little bit behind him. There was some motion. This is going to be offsides, and now there's another penalty as well. Temple fights for a first down. This could be offsetting penalties here, and the down won't matter. We'll see in a second. There's 13:08 remaining in the quarter. Looks like it's going to be holding against IUP and probably offsides against Cal is my best guess at what this could be. Offsides defense and holding against IUP. And they do offset, so like I just said, those penalties would likely offset and replay this down. It'd be 2nd and 12 all over again, 13:08 to go. As the clock will start after the penalties. Maybe I should go into the business of being a ref. I mean, I've got a lot of penalty calls right over the years calling these games on CUTV. Under 13 minutes to go in the game. Williams can hand off to Temple up the middle, and he will get to about the 22-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 6. He'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the Crimson Hawks. And now, this is a situation where California, if they force a punt, Spangler has the wind behind him, which will send these punts farther, which is something California has to factor into their game plan when you send Aaron Terry back there to return these punts. Now a couple subs coming in for IUP. You saw Brown in there. Temple and Williams. You got 5 seconds on the play clock. You got to hurry if you're going to snap this ball. And IUP is going to take a timeout. That's their second of the half. It leaves them with 1. Cal U was still 2 timeouts. 12:01. The clock will stop.
Luther Ford probably supports the IUP.
California needs a stop here. As we're going to look back at some of the plays of this game in case you're just joining us. First play of the game that really mattered the most was the touchdown from Jimmy Wheeler from 13 yards out. After that, though, IUP with back-to-back scores made it 7-6 because California missed an extra point. Chris Temple on all 3 scores for IUP tonight. That is his first. His second right here from about half a yard out. And then this one from about maybe 15 yards out, 20 yards out, gets them in the end zone again as we stand 20-9. And remember, this would not be the first time California's come back in a Coal Bowl. Anybody remember 2012? So we have 12:01 remaining in the 4th quarter. Williams going to throw, throws it over, and it's complete. And let's see, and that will be a first down. So when IUP needs a pass the most, they get it, as that one is completed for about 7 yards and just enough for a first down. 11:53 as the clock starts again as the ball is set. IUP trying to probably take some time off this drive, maybe run the play clock down a little bit and give less time for Cal U to come back. Temple on the handoff up the middle. Just keeps those legs moving. Now there's going to be a flag here. Let's see. There's probably going to be a face mask. How late it was thrown possibly, but we'll see. It looks like ref's motioning for a hold. Well, let's see. If that's a hold, this could drive IUP back. And it is on IUP. And it's a 10-yard penalty. That'll replay first down, but it's going to be 1st and 20 instead of the 1st and 10, 2nd and 5 they were looking at. That's a big penalty. 11:27 now to go in this game. Williams going up to the line, calling out the blocking assignments to the offensive lineman, trying to find the Mike linebacker. Now it's going to be a handoff, and the ball is out. Let's see who comes up with it. Looks like California may have it. If they do, this could be big. And it's California ball. I mentioned before there were no turnovers in this game yet, and just like that, there's the first. And like I said, whoever turns the ball over could be the one coming out with a loss, as Temple fumbled it. Looks like it might have been a down lineman who came up with it. I want to say maybe Myhochi, Turner, somebody. You see Errol Brewster, the former IUP Crimson Hawk, celebrating as California's offense is going to be set up now at the 22-yard line. Another chance, 4 downs to get into the end zone. 1st and 10, 11:05 remaining in the fourth quarter. This is an absolute must-score drive for California. Pistol formation for Harris. Fake handoff. It's going to be a screen to Brown. There's some blockers there. Brown's able to shake one. Gets upfield. Almost has a first down. Looks like he'll gain about 9 on that play. And now there's going to be a flag for a late hit against IUP, as that defender there, number 5 for the Crimson Hawks, drove Gary Brown out of bounds. That's Takai Turner, who's made a couple good plays tonight. That's a bad penalty if it goes against him. We'll see in a second. Oh. And it's a personal foul. Half the distance to the goal. This is not the time for dumb penalties to come in this game. As you see, Gary Brown shakes away from one defender, and then Takai Turner comes in at the last second. And watch here, keep watching. Takai Turner just shoves him down to the last second. Now, in his defense, it looks like he may have just tripped him, but still, you can't do that with the ref watching you right there. 1st and goal now at the 7-yard line, 10:48 to go in the game. Wheeler on the handoff, he's running up. He gets inside the 5, down to about the 2. It'll be 2nd and goal. California, this is the first time they've been this close since their field goal in the second quarter. Harris with 3 backs beside him. It's going to go to Wheeler. Back to the outside, and does not get into the end zone. He's shoved out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. This will be 3rd and goal. Good play there by the IUP defense to get blockers out there and stop Wheeler from getting in the end zone. 10-10 left to go now in the fourth quarter. Now we're going to see John Franklin come into the game. He has a rushing touchdown in 6 straight games. So now we're going to get a timeout called by Cal U. Looks like there may have been 12 guys in that huddle. I'm not exactly sure, as Kawan Scott raced off the field as fast as he could. 9:49 left in the fourth quarter. You have 2 plays to get 1 yard. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers would love for this opportunity after what they did on Monday night to beat the Chargers. But California with a chance to get in the end zone. But here's how California got in this situation. It was a turnover. Chris Temple on the handoff. Lenny Williams, looks like it might have been a little high, and Temple went for it and just hit it with his hand and bounced it out. California fell on it for the fumble at the 22-yard line. They've gone 21 yards. They need 22 yards on this drive to get in the end zone. Thinking of that speech in the movie The Rookie with Dennis Quaid, and how in the state championship game, they've won so many games, you need 1 more. That's exactly the situation California's in. 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. 9:49 to go in the quarter. Harris in the I formation. Pitch to Franklin in the end zone. Touchdown, California. And just like that, the Vulcans are back within 5 points. And let's see what they do. They're going for 2. Harris and company will stay out there and try and make this a field goal game. I mean, man, how many times have we been in a situation like this, not only this season, but in this series all time with IUP? These games always come down to the last few plays. It seems like we're heading there again tonight. 9:46 left. Cal U will go for 2. And remember, this is an untimed down. No time will run off the clock on this one, so IUP will get the ball with 9:46 remaining. There's going to be 4 split receivers. Green closest to Harris. He loves going in a fade there. Let's see if he does. Harris going to a fade to Green. It's well out of the end zone, and it's incomplete. That's going to bring up a kickoff from Cal U to IUP with 9:46 to go. California down by 5. Let's see how this one finishes up on CUTV.
Complete news, entertainment, and sports coverage from around the area, region, and nation is found right here on CUTV News Center every Thursday at 5 p.m. with anchors Jennifer Germano, Zach Prosba, entertainment with Mike Mays, and sports with Matt Hagee. Follow us on YouTube, CUTV News Center, and on Twitter, CUTV_PA, for your complete rebroadcast of your Vulcan sports. News Center airs every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Armstrong and Atlantic Broadband.
And we are back on CUTV. California with a touchdown. They got 6 points again. Missed an extra point earlier, and they missed a 2-point conversion here. They could have made this game closer. Let's see where those points factor into this one as Brazil's ready to kick off. IUP, Brown, and Piquez will be back to return. As Brazil kicks it away, and it's a short kick because of the wind. And it hit an IUP player. Let's see, California has the ball. Oh my goodness, it's shades of 2012 all over again, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. So from my freshman year to my senior year, the exact same play happens, except the first time it was an onside kick. This time it was just a kickoff caught in the wind. As you look at the replay here, let's see. It hits right off of an IUP player. Looks like it came straight down and hit the guy and just bounced back. He was turned around looking for the ball, and it came down and hit him, maybe even brisked his leg. Barely touched him from that vantage point. We were not, of course, close enough to tell. 9:46 left. California with another turnover coming their way. 1st and 10, ball on the 38-yard line. Let's see what Harris and company can do. Harris hands it off to Fiore. Fiore getting to the outside. He's got a lot of room. It's a first down, and he's upended. 1st and 10 coming up, though, for the Vulcans. Man, can you imagine how this game's going to end the way that this fourth quarter has started? 9:35 left in the game. 1st and 10 for the Vulcans. Harris back to throw. Downfield, Kawan Scott the receiver, and it's incomplete. Kawan Scott moved the defender, out of the way and jumped for it, but it went straight through his hands. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Clock stops at 9:20. As you look here, Kawan Scott just not able to grab that pass. And if Kawan Scott had caught that pass, we'd be tweeting SportsCenter right now, trying to get video of that to Top 10 plays. 2nd and 10. Fake handoff. Harris looking for a play downfield. He has a receiver, and it's caught. Gary Brown with the first down. California going to be set up inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. New set of downs. Need 14 for a touchdown. Need 10 to get a new set of downs, which will make it 1st and goal. Harris hands it off. That's Wheeler up the middle. He's running down to the 10, inside the 10, down to the 9. And that's going to be a gain of 5 on the play. Will bring up 2nd and 5 on this drive now. 8:47 to go here in this contest. There's still a lot of time left. I mean, imagine if this was towards the end of the game. There's still a lot of time left in this quarter. Under 8.5 left in the quarter now. Harris gets a snap. Can hand it off to Wheeler. Wheeler getting to the outside, inside the 10, spins away, and he's going to get down to about the 7-yard line, it looks like. Maybe 6 where they're marking him. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 2. And Jimmy Wheeler, if he hadn't spun around like that and maybe been clipped, he could have had a lot more in that play, a possible first down. So you have 3rd and, I'm going to call it 2. They're calling it 3 on the field. Looks like 2 from my vantage point, though. Under 8 minutes to go. Harris back to throw. Into the end zone. And it's intercepted. Oh, my goodness. What happened here? If this is simultaneous possession, no, offense gets it. So let's see. This is going to be a very crucial call. This is huge. And they gave IUP an interception here. Let's see on this replay again, because the rule is if it's simultaneous possession, it's offensive ball. Let's see here. Harris back to throw, and at the goal line, it looks like IUP actually did come up with that at the goal line. That's number 3 on that pick, McCall Mackle. And the ball is at the 1-yard line. They do not put IUP in the end zone, so a break for California there if you can find any. 7:45 remaining in the 4th quarter. Turnovers have started to come out. Looks like the floodgates have opened for the ball to be turned over tonight. 1st and 10 at the 1. The last time California was in this situation, they lit up a big run to Chris Temple. Let's see what they do this time. It's going to be a handoff to Temple. Temple going nowhere. Aaron Terry stops him. About a yard gain on the play. Will bring up 2nd and 9 as Temple, as he was tackled, dove forward just to get anything out of that. Looks like Super came out of there a little bit weary, but he's going to stay in the game. Looks like he might have just gotten hit on the thigh trying to loosen that up. A wild 4th quarter so far. We still got about 7:20 left in it. I mentioned, these games never come down to blowouts. The IUP 2nd and 9. Chris Temple run out the middle, nowhere to go again. Maybe 2-yard gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 6. Under 7 minutes left now. And you have to wonder, what's the play call here for the Crimson Hawks? Do you go on a slant pass? Do you go on a screen and hope somebody can get open field? Do you go on a run and try and just drive it out of your end zone and punt the ball away, because the punts have been traveling pretty far going in the direction you are? A very, very hard decision. Looks like IUP is going to have to burn their last timeout, though. As they're going to call timeout. That's their last timeout with 6:23 to go. About 3rd and 6 coming up. So IUP has to decide what to do here, and even though you're without any timeouts now, Cal only has 1, and this is probably the best time to take a timeout in this contest. As we'll look at that interception again, and it was a very close play. We'll see Harris here throw it. Looks like he was going for Gary Brown at the end zone, but McCall got it. It looked like it might have gone right through Gary Brown's arms as he was going down for it, and McCall maybe had a hand in there to pull it out. A very close play that could decide this contest. I mentioned this is a game of inches, and right there, just what would have been a perfect play most of the time, the IUP defender was there in perfect position. I mean, how many times out of 10 are you going to see that? Maybe 2, if that. Maybe 1. Maybe not even 1. Very, very close play. As we're going to see. 3rd and 6. Williams in shotgun. Hands it off to Temple, and he's going nowhere. What a play by the Vulcans defense. He's stopped for a loss. That's Errol Brewster, on first contact. Look right here. The former Crimson Hawk says, "You're going nowhere, my friend." And they gave him really good position, let me tell you. They marked him about the 3-yard line. He didn't get anywhere near the 3-yard line. He was down at the 1. Very good, generous spot for IUP, as Spangler will be punting out of his own end zone. Now, Cal U is very good at blocking punts. If you block one here and it goes out of bounds, it's a safety, but you get the ball back. Let's see. And that one was almost blocked. Smorey almost got there. Terry standing at his own in the 45. He gets to the outside. Now he breaks it back in. And he will get down to about the 27, where Cal U will start their next drive with 5:33 to go. And here's an interesting stat. Cal U has pretty much started in IEP territory, if not all of their drives, a good, hefty majority of them. As you see the punt return here from Aaron Terry. Makes a cut at the 35, gets to about the 27, 26 before being marked down, and they call it at the 27, 1st and 10. 5:33 left here in the 4th quarter. The excitement just continues to grow. Harris hands off to Franklin. He's got a little bit of a hole into a big hit there from the IUP defender inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. A gain of 4, bring up 2nd and 6. And we're going to get a stoppage from the refs here, as there's an injury timeout to an IUP player. And it looks like the guy that made the tackle, Eric Williams. And sometimes that's the penalty for making a big hit like that. You wake up, where are you, is the question that you're going to ask yourself. As you see, he took the brunt of that hit. 5:20 to go in the contest. It's going to be 2nd and 6. The clock will start. Harris in the shotgun. Fiore moves over to his left side. Now Harris back to throw. Throws it over on the out, and that is caught by Kawan Scott. What a play. I was going to say he was out of bounds. I had to wait for the refs to call that, though. Let's see here on this replay. Kawan Scott, oh, he just got a foot tapped in there. Great camera angle there by our camera crew tonight. I have to give them a mention, as they've been staying out in the cold all night long, giving us the best they can. 4:40 to go. Harris hands off to Wheeler. Wheeler breaking back inside, and he's upended at about the 7-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 coming up. Need to get to the 3 for a 1st down. 4:20 left in the game. Harris with 2 sidecars, gets a snap, hands out Fiore. Fiore up the middle. He's riding some defenders along with him. He's going to be about a yard or 2 short of the 1st down. But again, this is 2-down territory. That won't matter so much that it's only a yard away and you only have 1 play. This is 2-down territory, as he was trying to chuck forward. Franklin and Moorhead and Pearson coming here for a push from behind. And there was an interesting development on the field. I was trying to see what was going on. They were running the play clock down, and then the refs reset it back up as Harris was over as his sideline trying to get the play call as they were running the play clock down. A very questionable call there, as you're down to 3:10 left in this contest. Harris on a pitch to Franklin, trying to get to the outside. He won't get anywhere, though. He's stopped for a big loss at about the 7-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 3. That'll bring up 4th and 4. Again, this is not a goal situation. 4th and 4 coming up. And this is a definite 4-down territory with 2:45 to go in the game. IUP getting their fans all ramped up. Everybody that's still here and is braving the cold standing now. IUP sideline hollering and hooting. Harris gets a snap. Throws in the end zone. Des Green can't get it. That's the second time tonight Des Green's had an opportunity and watches it bobble out of his hands. IUP will have the ball at the 7-yard line, 1st and 10, 2:21 to go. As California, again, unable to finish drives tonight, much like they did against Slippery Rock. As you look at the replay here, Des Green, if he had caught that, likely would have been a touchdown. It was very close to whether his knee would have been out first or not, but California with a couple missed chances again tonight. And if IUP gets one first down, the game likely over. Cal with only one timeout. Cal's defense needs to stand here more than ever. Williams gonna run it himself. And he will get into the middle, but gain maybe 5 yards. He'll bring up 2nd and 5. California does not have to take their timeout immediately. They can let it run a little bit. If Cal were to lose this game, it'd be very tough for them to make the playoffs and come back in the PSAC West, where it's very top heavy this year. If they win, they're in the driver's seat, control their destiny, and hope for a little bit of help. 2nd and 5. And Williams gets a snap. Be a handoff to Temple. Temple going nowhere. He's going to get to about the 15. He's going to bring up a 3rd and 2. As now there's going to be a timeout called. I don't know if Cal U took their timeout or not. I think this is an official timeout. And actually, Cal did take their timeout with 1:28 to go in the game. And they're gonna actually reset the game clock to 1:32. As now we will look at our upcoming schedule for CUTV broadcasts all next week. It's homecoming week in California, so we have a little bit of a busier schedule. We have the homecoming hockey doubleheader Wednesday night, and then Friday night, our penultimate high school football game of the week, Avella at Carmichael's High School in Tri-County South. And then California versus 7-0 Clarion on homecoming. I have to say that again just to believe it. 7-0 Clarion. A very surprising fact, but they're a good offensive team, and their defense is one of the best in the PSAC this year in terms of getting pressure in the offensive backfield. But the focus, of course, right now for these teams is on this play. If IUP gets a first down, it's over. If they don't, Cal U will have an opportunity to get the ball back and have a last-ditch effort to try and win this one. Williams hands off to Temple. Temple has the first down. He's in the midfield, and he's going to have first down. And just like that, the chances of IUP California coming down to another final second play go out the books. There's 1:25 left. All IUP has to do is take a knee, and they will hoist the Cole Pale Trophy for the second time in the 7 years that this has been known as the Cole Bowl. And Chris Temple, he put this team on his back, and they were able to get the victory because of him. As we're under a minute now, 55 seconds, and California, now with 3 losses this year, going to be very, very, very difficult for them to get in the playoffs. The only kind of bright spot is that there's 7 playoff teams in Super Region 1 now, but they're going to need a lot of help to be able to get in there. A knee from Williams. And that's going to be the final play. California, with plenty of offensive chances to win this one, cannot get it done again. And California will fall 20-15. One of the lowest scoring Cole Bowls in memory. And California just has to look forward to the rest of the season and keep trying to win. If they can do that, there's a chance. IUP, they get Slippery Rock next week, and they have a tough road ahead. They have to keep going on their road as well. For everyone on, well, I was going to say for everyone on crew, but we're actually going to look ahead to our next high school broadcast of Vela at Carmichael's. I mentioned this before, October 23rd. And then our next Vulcan game, I mentioned homecoming against Clarion, the 7-0 Clarion Eagles. That will be live on calvulcans.com for everyone on crew, for everyone that braved the cold tonight. You see our hockey doubleheader there. Thank you for watching. I'm Zach Prospa. California falls 20-15 here on CUTV in the 7th Annual Coal Bowl.